Hey, song strings. So, you guys all have your violins, and you're looking for things to do in quarantine. So why don't we pick up our violins? We can warm up, play a few notes, and then you guys will be experts by the time we get back in class. So why don't you take your violins and just practice. First of all, just on open strings is always the best way to warm up, to practice your bow arm, right? You want to have your violin up on your shoulder, and you want to use the whole bow. You want to remember to keep it between the bridge and the fingerboard, and just try to be nice and easy and relaxed. Don't grip or tense anything. It's all about ease of motion. So just take your G string first, maybe. And just draw that bow and try to make it as smooth as possible. Nice. Then change to the D string. That's it. Change to the A string. That's it. And notice all the different levels of the arm as you do it. And then ease in the fingers and the wrist. And then E string. The whole bow. Good. So now, once you're done, kind of just warming up and drawing with the whole bow, maybe you want to do some fast bow strokes. Sometimes it's good to practice quick bow changes as well as slow ones. So why don't you try doing the same thing. Go to your G string. Start right at the tip of the bow. You see where mine is? See how it's right at the tip? And you can just go back and forth like that. Still, you look for smoothness. You don't want it to be harsh, but just small bow changes and stay right at the tip. Good. So then, go to the G string. Same thing, but now we're at the bottom of the bow. See how my hand is just right up over the bridge? And yeah, you stay right in that Goldilocks zone. And just short bow changes. Gives you a chance to practice in different parts of the bow. Same thing on the D string. A string. And E string. So one thing you're going to notice is when you're practicing in the different parts of the bow, the arm is going to feel very different, especially on the G string. To keep your bow nice and straight and going parallel to the bridge, your arm's got to be quite open. You know, a lot of people, what happens is you get this angle of the bow, right? But we want it to be straight, and so it requires a big, long arm. Okay? So, next thing you can do, if you want to practice your fingers, playing scales. Scales is the best way. And what's a scale? Is where we just play from one note to the next time that note appears, and it just takes all your fingers one by one. So with our G major scale, we start on G. You add first finger for A, second finger for B, third finger for C, open D, first finger for E, second finger for F, and third finger for G. Back down to F, second finger, first finger for E, open D, C with the third finger, now we're on the G string, the second finger for B, and first finger, and then back to G. Same thing with D, open D, that's it. One by one. After 3, we go to open A. And just watch your fingers carefully. 2 and 3 are going to be close together. And all the others are spaced apart. 2 and 3, nice and close. First finger, and then open. Make sure you're right on top of those stickers, the lines on your fingerboard if you've got them. And then last but not least, our A string. First finger for B. C. That's it. Back down. After open E, 3 on A string. That's the hard part. Good. So, the hardest part of the scales is always coming down from the open string to the next string, because you've got to add that third finger, right? It's always, everybody takes a load of time because they got to cross with the bow and then with the fingers, and then we got to put the fingers down and go down. So, if you want to practice that, if you want to get better at it, all you got to do is repetition over and over again. Try from open E, back to that third finger on A string for D. Open E, third finger. And notice how when I do it, my fingers are always hovering sort of right above their spots. Same thing on A and D. Open A, third finger for G. A, third finger for G. And then same thing from D to C. Very good. Okay, so the next thing after you do your scales is you can practice slurs. I know Deborah wanted to work on slurs, and so those of you that know what a slur is, you know what to do. And if you don't know, basically all we're doing is you're playing more than one note in a single bow. So if we go back to our G major scale, you do open G, and let's say we're slurring 2 notes at a time, then you would do open G and A. And then you change bow on the second finger and slur the third finger. So 2 and 3 in one bow, B and C. And then same thing, open D and 1. And then 2 and 3. So it requires a little bit of focus because you have to keep the bow moving steady as you change with the fingers. It's kind of that old pat your head and rub your belly type thing going on. So just try it with just open and 1 for a bit. Just like anything, the more you can just repeat one thing a bunch of times in a row, you're going to get a lot better at it a lot quicker. So open D and 1. Open D and 1. And you got to really feel that finger plop down on that string, almost like you're trying to catch it. You're trying to squish a bug. And steady bow. And then same thing, 1 and 2. Smooth bow. And then 2 and 3. And that's a slur. Now another way you can practice slurs, not only can you slur different fingers, but you can slur different strings too. If you wanted to do practice slurs without using your fingers, you can slur different strings together, like G and D, for example. You can slur G and slur over to the open D. You kind of just feel that bow gradually curving onto the D string as you keep it going in one direction. And not only should you practice down bow, like that, but start at the tip, practice up bow. It's a little bit trickier. And always be thinking about the weight of the bow and the momentum of the bow and just controlling and easing it over the strings of the violin. So I hope this practice helps you out and gives you something to work on while you're bored at home. And then we'll introduce some new things in the next lesson that you can practice, different studies and things for your fingers, and we'll be sending PDFs and all that kind of stuff. Enjoy!